Hello, Nigeria. It's nice to be here. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Welcome to Newsline. And of course, I'm holding fort for your TV idol, Becky. Tonight on Newsline, we'll have a lot of stories for you. We will begin Newsline proper with a story of the man with 10 religions to the myth on marmots, Mami Water, like we used to call them. And some creative youngsters are set to storm Nollywood with their latest creativity. The question is, who will pick them up first? Nollywood, Hollywood, or even Bollywood? Let's keep our fingers crossed. Africa's first television network on the news again for the right reason. We also have a story of a young couple whose lives were cut short as a result of fumes from the generator. So sad. You know, it's a mixed grill. We also have specials and dance, one of which is from Ghana. And of course, corporate and social events as well. So much more for you wouldn't want to miss a bit. Okay, Joseph Johnson is here and ready to get started with the news. Hello, Joe. You look so nice in your attire.
Thank you, Lizzie, as do you. You all look all glammed up for
Thank
tonight.
you so much.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja for Japan to participate in the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, from August 28th to 30th, 2019. President Muhammadu Buhari is accompanied by Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, as well as ministers and top government functionaries, with the theme Africa and Yokohama sharing passion for the future. President Buhari will deliver Nigeria's statement during plenary session 3, in which he will appraise Nigeria-Japan relations and takeaways from TICAD. The president will also attend other major and side events in Japan and hold a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He will also meet chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with huge investments in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the presidency has debunked recent media and social media reports on change in the responsibilities of the chief of staff to the president. A statement by senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, notes that the role of chief of staff remains the same as it was in the past term of the president. The chief of staff is to act as the head of the presidential administration at Aso Rock, an advisor to the president on any and all matters, and the line manager for all staff at Aso Rock. He is also to manage appointments and scheduling for the president. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, on the other hand, is responsible for ensuring the effective coordination and monitoring of the implementation of government policies and programs, and all cabinet matters must go through him. The statement stresses that access to the president is open to ministers, and it is not true that this is denied them in the second term. Now, the gap in access to safe water, which continues to widen between urban and rural areas, continues to be a threat to the attainment of Sustainable Development Goal 6 for many countries of the world. How to turn the tide will be the focus as experts and relevant stakeholders converge on Stockholm for the World Water Week with the theme Water for Society, including all. Correspondent Musbal Danwahab contextualizes the theme of the event in Nigeria's scenario.
This nearly impossible road leads to Kuduma, Abuja. It might be a signal to what to get in terms of infrastructure in this FCT satellite community. Also, a common welcoming feature is the presence of Merua around. This water facility is where vendors like Abdullahi get the water auto supply. With 15 naira per keg of water, the residents are also at the mercy of the electricity company to get the essential commodity.
A big problem because if light no day, we cannot see water.
Sometime a month we have like 4 days a month or 5 days a month.
Residents in their neighboring Guzape village are not having it better. 15 naira per keg is what Godwin and others do to get water here. Their water scarcity plight is being complicated by their rocky terrain.
Generally, if you sink borehole here, it takes the grace of God, a special grace of God for you to get water.
Kurduma and Guzape are the surrounding villages of Asokoro extension in Abuja. But unlike in those villages, safe water is part of the amenities being taken for granted in this highbrow area. Ability to source for oneself has widened the gap of access to safe water between the urban and rural dwellers. Resultantly, about 32% of Nigerian population forms part of the 2.2 billion people around the world who lack safe water. But racing against national and international targets, stakeholders believe the National Wash Action Plan, launched late last year by President Muhammadu Buhari, is a milestone amongst those needed to drive the sector.
We have the same government in power. What they really need to do now is to action that state of emergency. The federal government has put in place a number of policies that are in the right direction, but these policies are not trickling down to the state level. So I think that the state governments are the ones that really need to sit up.
Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu, on his return, his first major assignment is to lead Nigeria's delegation to the world stage in search of new ideas and technology, and very importantly too, international support to improve the country's wash sector. Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
Funding support to boost agricultural activities in Nasarawa State is getting more attention from the federal government under Nigeria Incentives Risk-Sharing Agricultural Lending of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Technical assistance pillar and rating towards improving productivity. Implementation of the program is driven by 90 billion naira support grant under the CBN for agricultural development in the country.
See the opportunities in Nasarawa State, match it with our TTMPs, tools, techniques, methodologies, and processes, and see how we can put them together and come up with a working and implementable document that will redefine agribusiness in the state.
Governor Abdullahi Sule explains that Nasarawa State is prioritizing agriculture as key area of its industrialization project and assures the bank of effective utilization of the funds. He appeals to genuine farmers and critical stakeholders to collaborate closely with the bank and obtain technical knowledge on achieving desired results.
The reason why we are in this is we want to keep our youth active. We want to keep them in business so that they can remain in business, so they have something to do, so they have income, so they have independent, and those are the kind of things I think they are going to teach you during this process. And I want you to be devoted to it, committed to this, the way we are, so that at the end of the day we benefit from it.
Governor Sule commends the federal government for development of agriculture and economic diversification. In Lafia, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is working with relevant bodies to unravel the cause of the death of a Nigerian in Ukraine. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, while commiserating with the family of the deceased in Lagos, gave assurance of justice. Abolade Salame reports.
As the Nigerian mission in Ukraine intensifies efforts through petition to the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the police to uncover circumstances surrounding the death of a Nigerian medical doctor, Bolan Ejema, in Ukraine, about Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has met with the family to console them of the sudden demise of their son, with an assurance that the Commission will get to the roots of his death.
And you want to know that your son got justice in death. And that's why we all have to ensure that we keep it's going to take a while, but I'm going to keep at it. I will not stop.
She reassured the Ejema's family that regardless of time and persons involved, justice will be pursued. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News. Nigeria and the 14 other economic communities of West African states, ECOWAS, have set a target to eradicate rabies in the region by 2023. These, they say, will be achieved through massive campaign for dogs vaccination and control of stray dogs. Musa Babali reports.
13-year-old Joy Donatos has always had phobia about dogs. It was as a result of this fear she was bitten by a dog in her neighborhood. She says she was not taken to a hospital, nor did dog be examined if it has rabies or other related diseases.
I was not taken to the hospital. They only used a black stone to put at the place that the dog bites me.
Not all victims of dog's bite are as lucky as Joy without contracting rabies, especially from stray dogs.
It's not right for you to hold dog, you have dog, and you release the dog, you allow the dog to roam here and there, free roaming. We call them free roaming dogs. We don't want that in our community.
The World Health Organization says rabies, a zoonotic disease, kills an estimated 25,000 people, with about one death every 20 minutes in Africa.
But in fact, this figure is for sure underestimated. There are many places in the world, in Africa, in Asia, where the diagnostic of rabies is not done. So the people who die because of rabies in remote villages, in areas where the diagnostic is not performed.
The high cases of rabies in West Africa have become a major concern among veterinary doctors under the ECOWAS.
It will be shameful if we are unable to take the rightful steps to be there by 2030, that we will be fit. We will have created an enabling environment for total elimination of rabies. This is the challenge all of us are facing here. How do we get it done?
Nigerian representatives at the meeting are of the view that addressing cases of stray dogs and registration of pets and vaccination is a challenge in Nigeria. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
A bit on security now. Men of the 23 Brigades Nigerian Army Yola have intercepted and handed over to the Nigeria Customs Service 6 mines-resistant vehicles in Konkol, Nigeria-Cameroon border village. Mohammed Saidu reports that the vehicles are being suspected to have been transported into Nigeria without due process.
The 6 mine-resistant vehicles were intercepted by a combined team of Nigerian Army, DSS, and Nigeria Customs Service in Konkol, a Nigeria-Cameroon border village. Source from the 23 Brigade Yola says Nigerian Army could not verify the ownership of the equipment from where they were shipped and their destination, hence the reason for the interception. The Customs National Public Relations Officer, Joseph Atta, in a telephone interview, said on interception, drivers of the 6 vehicles claimed that they were on transit to Cameroon and Niger republics. However, the Customs PRO said there was no evidence that due process and protocol of transporting the equipment of this nature have been followed.
For you to transit through a different country with any cargo, especially a military equipment of this nature, demands some transit protocol, including clearance from the Office of the National Security Advisor.
Already, the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ali, has directed for full investigation of the matter. In Yola, Muhammad Saidu, NTA News.
Now let's take you to Enugu State, where the Akanu Ibiam International Airport has been closed indefinitely by the Federal Aviation Authority of Nigeria. This is to enable government rehabilitate the deplorable runway of the airport and address other threats to safety of passengers and other users of the airport. And Major Pius takes a look at the implication of the closure on the people and economy.
The Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu is no doubt the gateway to the southeast that serve major cities such as Aba, Umuahia, Awka, Onitsha, Owerri, all in the southeast geopolitical zone of the country. The Enugu Airport was until recently a beehive of air transport and other activities because of its strategic location within the region. Over the years, critical infrastructure at the airport deteriorated, posing great danger to air travelers. Apart from the runway that is currently in bad shape, its proximity to a market and the wrong location of the state radio mast around the airport are some of the reasons why the federal government decided to shut the airport. The move is to carry out repairs on the bad portion of the runway, as well as tackle the many challenges threatening smooth operations at the Enugu airport.
Those authorities should do everything possible to make sure that even if it's shut down now, that it should come back within a short space of time.
So we are looking forward, very optimistic, looking forward that something reasonable comes out of this.
The news that the Enugu airport is going to be shut down, it's a welcome development. It's an opportunity for us to get it repaired once and for all.
Already, scheduled flights to the airport prior to the Saturday 24th of August 2019 closure date have been cancelled by the various airlines using the Enugu airport. It is expected that the closure of the airport would afford contractors rehabilitating the runway the opportunity to address the safety issues within the shortest possible time. In Enugu, Amici Pius, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari, on behalf of the Federal Executive Council, congratulates the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, on his 63rd birthday anniversary. In a statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President's Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President applauds the Sultan's exemplary roles and contributions towards building peaceful, secure and prosperous country. The President values the timely counsel and support of the Royal Father to the administration's policies and programs and commends Sultan for championing, among other things, poverty reduction and education for the most vulnerable. President Buhari joins family members, the Sokoto Emirate, the government and people of Sokoto State, as well as well-wishers in praying that Almighty Allah grants the Sultan more years of good health and happiness to keep doing the things he loved most, building bridges of peace, tolerance and development across the country. The former Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, has called for peace and unity among Igbos and Nigerians in general. He made the call at a grand reception organized in his honor by the Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Wing in Enugu after the unfortunate incident in Germany recently. Michael Onwuzulike has details.
It was indeed a massive show of support and solidarity as Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Wing came out in their numbers to welcome Senator Ike Ekweremadu in Enugu after the incident in Germany a few days back. The event, which started from the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, continued with a roadshow to the Senator's house with all the 5 Southeast states, Rivers and Delta states represented. The lawmaker, who was impressed with the kind gesture, called on the youth to be law-abiding. He emphasized that he has already forgiven the perpetrators of the ugly incident.
And as I said, I put this behind me and I've moved on. I just want to plead with Nigerians, let us just move on and begin to have a conversation around our challenges. I think that is the best thing we can do at this moment.
The former Deputy Senate President went further to disclose that he was in Germany to negotiate with German investors to boost economic growth in the southeast as against rumors making the rounds. Michael Onwuzulike, NTA News.
And in sports, Nigeria's The Tigers clinch Medan Peak Invitational Tournament title in China. Kenema Abudike brings us details on Sports Update.